What's going on? You all know me. Uh, Anti-crime, anti-terrorism, anti-drugs, anti-extortion, anti-rings. But I guess these people like the repression, so we're not going to help them. We're just going to help ourselves. And so here's the very first element that I'd like to talk about. Right there. Okay, it's inverse right now, but it'll be normal on the upload. P060000168884. Florida Department of State, Division of Corporations Public Access System. Electronic filing cover sheet. There it is. Account name, Empire Corporate Kit Company. Account number 07245000325. Account number 07245000325. There's her phone. Huh? Anybody want to call it? Estimated charge $78.75. Now here's our other H060000031437. Filed 2006 February 3rd p.m. 2:17 p.m. Central Standard Time. Actually, it might not be Central Standard Time. Because it's in Florida. Secretary, another Hispanic. Very nice cover. Tallahassee, Florida. Articles of Incorporation of Intercontinental Forwarding USA Corporation. These are the types of people they told us to be on guard for. They come from Nicaragua. They come from goddamn Colombia, Bogota, Brazil. They come from Paraguay. And they've seeded this neighborhood since the 1940s. And they're ex-CIA. Get it? Ex-CIA. That means they got kicked out from their own country, so they came here. The undersigned subscribers to these articles of incorporation, each a natural person competent to contract, hereby associates themselves together to form a corporation under the laws of the state of Florida, providing for the formation of a corporation for profit, I state that again, for profit, with the powers, rights, privileges, and immunities hereinafter mentioned, and they hereby make, subscribe, acknowledge, and file with the Secretary of State of the state of Florida the certificate of incorporation, and to that end they do by the certification and forth following articles of incorporation. Let me poke a hole through their whole preface. They didn't state this state. They didn't state this neighborhood. So all of that is rendered null and void, and they've been breaking the law ever since. Article 1. The name of this corporation shall be Intercontinental Forwarding USA Corporation. Nice that they use Forwarding USA. Article 2. The general nature of the business and the objects and purposes to be performed and carried on are to do any and all things allowed and permitted to be done by corporations under the statutes of the state of Florida, and to do any and all of the things hereinafter mentioned as fully and to do the same extent as natural persons could do, to wit. Natural persons, that means us, that means people like me, Americans, true patriots, not expats. 2X, Article 2, Section A. This is a good part. To export from and import into the United States of America and its territories and possessions any and all foreign countries as principal or agent merchandise of every kind and nature, and to purchase, sell, and deal in and with the wholesale and retail merchandise of every kind and nature for exportation from and importation into the United States, and to any from and to and from all countries foreign thereto, and for exportation from and importation into any foreign country, to and from any other country foreign thereto, and to purchase and sell domestic and foreign merchandise in foreign markets, and to do a general foreign and domestic exporting and importing business, to carry on and conduct a general purchase and all sale business, to distribute, deliver, purchase, and sell goods, wares, merchandise, property, commodities, and articles of commerce of every kind and description, and in selling, promoting the sale of advertising, and introducing and contracting for the sale, introduction, advertisement, and use of services of all kinds, relating to any and all kinds of business for any and all purposes. You know what that says about these people? And we'll get to their names. You already know them. The Calderons, the Coyars, the Guandolo motherfucker, the Smith motherfucker, the Bill, who was the other one? Any of Nurky, all of them they were kicked out. They're operating together. You know what this whole thing says for the people that are dumb? That they're gonna exploit the illegals and the little recon motherfuckers that aren't agents. They're provocateurs. They're not officers. That's a criminal offense within itself. You can't employ other people to spy for you if they're not licensed. Therefore, who are you protecting? And number two, it goes back to them. All their little communications at the job site, on the street. Oh my God. Today I went by the Veterans Square and we got all their license plates. But then again, we get them every time I go anywhere because I'm from America. And so right here, let me get back to the premise. This whole Article 2, subsection A, all it says is basically, and we have found research, agencies, they can basically import raw materials like chemical hazards, contaminants, and we have files of them saying to add more into the water. I did water tests to add more into our electricity, to cut off our the ventilation system here is garbage. One of their addresses is in Texas, Austin, and that's who they ship from. So they're basically employing their own little networks to kill people. And so here it is, motherfuckers. This whole thing, and they've been photographed at piers and docks unloading cargo from ships that are not registered. I don't know how the Coast Guard lets it slide. They probably don't. Who knows? They might have killed people. I know they're cop killers. For sure they're cop killers. That's why they hate us. And I'm a upcoming cop, whether or not they like it. And so they've they've committed murder. They've imported raw materials. This is why the guy, one of them, the Koyar, was being questioned by police in 2017. And they were looking through his car and the sun came out of nowhere. And he was like trying to defend his father. But that's beside the point because the Calderones were basically in on it, and they were the ones that called that investigation. And so what this says is that they could sell black market guns, drugs, all sorts of things. This is very broad. Their one mistake was that they were too specific in what they could do, and that's basically everything. And what's the key word? As natural persons might or could do, to wit. And so we're not going to read all of this, but we'll quickly go through all this. To act as forwarding, shipping, and freight agent, to deal with maritime, air, rail, and trucking shipping companies, to quote fees and calculate shipping costs, to process claims related to the shipping and handling of the merchandise. Keep in mind, we get a lot of fucking packages downstairs and we own the property, so we don't inspect them. And if they're saying that they have their agents who come in FedEx and UPS trucks, hell, they already know what the fuck is in there. To issue any and all required shipping documents such as bill of lading, airway bills, etc., and to do any and all things required or necessary as agent or as intermediary between shippers and carriers. So that alone tells you that the U.S. government has a strong hold on them. To carry out any or more of the purposes and objects here enumerated as principal, factor, agent, contractor, or otherwise either alone or thorough in conjunction with any person, even illegals, partnership, association, or corporation. To carry on its operations and conduct business in any state in the District of Columbia and in any territory, dependency, or possession of the United States in any foreign country. This is why when we were in class, I was wondering why, if the Puerto Rico and U.S. Virgin Islands are part of our territory, why are guns not allowed on there? This is a very reason. They're afraid of their shit being discovered and people shooting back at them, so they want to take the guns away. Meanwhile here, they want to traffic illegal guns. It's too late now. On-time watch repair, U.S. Virgin Islands. There's your corporation. To such extent as a corporation organized under the laws of the state of Florida may now or hereafter lawfully to do, either as principal or agent, and either alone or in connection with other corporations, firms, or individuals. All and everything necessary, suitable, convenient, or proper for, or in connection with, or incidental to the accomplishments of any purposes or the attainment of any one or more of the objects here enumerated, or indirectly to promote the interests of this corporation or to enhance the values of its properties, and in general to do any and all things and exercise any and all powers, rights, and privileges which a corporation may now or hereafter be organized to do or exercise under the laws of the state of Florida or under after a mandatory thereof, supplemental thereto, or substituted therefore. Pardon that, it must be leaking some sort of shit, or there must be dust. Number one, they have multiple of these contracts in all 50 states. Who are these people and where do they come from? We're not going to read through all this because the police force and every other agency stands to gain much control. Pardon, they already have. This corporation shall be authorized to exercise and enjoy all powers, rights, and privileges granted by the laws of the state of Florida. Replace Florida with every other 50 states. To corporations organized thereunder and all the powers conferred by all acts herefore and hereafter mandatory or supplemental to that statute, and the enumeration of certain powers, rights, and privileges granted and conferred by the statute now hereafter enforced, provided, however, that nothing herein conducted shall be deemed to authorize or contained shall be deemed authorized to permit this corporation to carry on any business, to exercise any power, or to do any act which a corporation formed under the statute may not be at the time lawfully carry on or do. What this basically says, what is that, subsection E, Article 2, is that they can't do anything illegally, and if they do, everything is rendered null and void, and they've been at it since the 40s. It says that they can't act like U.S. patriots because they need to get in line, and so they've fallen out of line, and this says state of Florida, let me remind you. So I guess they don't exist in Florida anymore, so they don't exist in the Illinois anymore. Here's the good part. The maximum number of shares of stock of this corporation is authorized to have outstanding at any time is 1,000 shares of stock of $1 per value. That's what their criminal ring got. And then they went to those Calderon motherfuckers for help with extortion. Article 4, the amount of capital with which this corporation will begin business shall be no less than $1,000. The initial post office address of the principal office of this corporation is 3671 Northwest 81st Street, Miami, Florida 33147. The board of directors may from time to time move the principal office to any other address in the state of Florida. There it is again, Florida, not Illinois. This corporation is to exist perpetually. That's interesting. We can scratch that off. The registered agent for this corporation shall be Andres Jose Franco, and the registered address shall be 3671 Northwest 81st Street, Miami, Florida 33147. Article 7. This corporation shall have no less than one director initially. The number of directors may be increased or diminished from time to time by bylaws adopted by the stockholders, but shall never be less than one. The names and post office addresses of the members of the first board of directors who subject to the provisions of these articles of incorporation by bylaws. Oh, and let me remind the real families out there, this is how they screwed over your business, and they're going to get to you guys eventually if you don't change this. The bylaws of the corporation and the laws of the state of Florida shall hold office for the first year of the corporation's existence or until their successors are elected and have qualified are as follows. Paulo Giovanni Collar, 3671 Northwest 81st Street, Miami, Florida 33147. The names and post office addresses of the first officers of the corporation subject to provisions of these are, and they're not real officers. Officers within their own little world. Subject to the provisions of these articles of incorporations, the bylaws of the corporation and the laws of the state of Florida shall hold office for the first year of the corporation's existence or until their successors are elected and have qualified are as follows. Paulo Giovanni Collar, President and Secretary, 3671 Northwest 81st Street, Miami, Florida 33147. The names and post office address of the subscriber of these articles of incorporation, the number of shares of stock that agrees to take the value of the consideration thereof are EXPOCOECIA Ltda. This is Expatriate CIA Limited. 1,000 shares, $1,000. EDIFICIO LACUADRA. Edificio La Cuadra 1, piso 2, apartamento 3B. Nice. Eduardo Crespo Malo y José Astudillo Esquina. Cuenca, Ecuador. There's not counting all the bullshit they've been doing to people, who knows how many they've killed. There's your whole case for espionage. There's your whole case for espionage. There it is. It doesn't get any better than that. And everyone who they do business with, either they're spies or they're just, both stockholders and directors shall have the power to hold their meetings and have one or more offices within or without the state of Florida. Within or without the state of Florida. That could be anywhere, just like next door, down the street, anywhere. And to keep the books of this corporation at such offices as the stockholders and directors shall determine, subject to the provisions of the Florida statutes. For the true CIA people, there's your evidence. You interrogate them, you find out exactly where they're keeping the money machine, where they're keeping the goddamn drugs, and where they're keeping the goddamn stock. The name and post office address of the subscriber to these articles of incorporation, the number of shares of stock and we know where it is, U.S. Virgin Islands on-time watch repair, of stock that agrees to take, and the value of the consideration thereof are. They left that part blank. All rights conferred to stockholders herein are granted, subject to the right corporation reserves to amend, alter, change, or repeal any provisions contained in this certificate of incorporation in the manner explained in Article 13 of the certificate. These articles of incorporation may be amended in the manner provided by law. Okay, so now we're bringing in the big guns. By law. 7th Circuit Court. Every amendment and more. Every amendment shall be approved by the board of directors, proposed to them by the stockholders, and approved at the stockholders' meeting by the majority of the stock entitled to vote thereof, unless all directors and all stockholders sign a written statement manifesting their intention that a certain amendment of these articles of incorporation be made. And they did sign a written statement. It has hundreds of names on it. So there's your fucking link. Preemptive right of every stockholder upon the sale for cash of any new stock of this corporation of the same kind, class, or series as that which may already holds, shall have the right to purchase his pro rata share as nearly as may be done without issuance of fractional shares at the price at which it is offered to others. So what this whole thing says is they can kill people, and then they could take over their house, they could take over their business, and that's what they've done in this neighborhood. And if you think I'm lying, pull up the obituaries of some of my neighbors that are still somehow alive. In witness whereof, we being all the original subscribers and incorporators of this corporation do make and file these articles of incorporation with the Secretary of State of the State of Florida, and accordingly set my hands and seal on February 1st, 2006. State of Florida, County of Miami-Dade, Dade County. Paulo Giovanni Coyar, Neira. I hereby certify that on this day before me, a notary public authorized in the above-mentioned state and county to take acknowledgments personally appeared PAULOGEOVANNYCOELLARNEIRA, who executed these articles of incorporation, and she acknowledges before me that she subscribes to these articles of incorporation. Witness, my hand and official seal in the city of Coral Gables, Florida. This first day of February 2006, I relied upon the following instruments as identification. Ecuadorian passport number 0102417334. So they're not even legal. Everything was a sham, null and void. That goes to my country now. My commission expires January 31st, 2009. Bonded through 800-432-4254. Nancy E. Fernandez. Pursuant to Chapter 48.091 of the State Florida Statutes, the following is submitted in compliance with said act. The Intercontinental Forwarding USA Corporation qualifies to do business, oh yeah, right, under the laws of the state of Florida, meaning it doesn't apply anywhere else, not even here, with its principal office at 3671 Northwest 81st Street, blah, 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 has appointed Andres Jose Franco Palacios. They're using their own names over and over, man. They don't have any variants. It's all the same person. Palacios, Franco, Collar, Espinosa, like, of the city of Miami, Miami-Dade County, state of Florida, as its agent to accept service of process within this state, and his registered office is 3671 Northwest 81st Street, Miami, Florida. First he was a she, now he's a he. Having been named to accept service of process for the above stated corporation at the place designated in the certificate, I hereby accept to act in this capacity and agree to comply with the provisions of said act relative to keeping open said office. Registered agent. H060000314337. Now this is not the only one. Like I said, they have one in every state. What were they planning? To overtake everything and then slowly kill off the real militant division, and then they could just muscle in their way and achieve a type of world control? That's taking it too far. They probably just wanted to make a lucrative amount of money, embezzling people and extorting them, killing them off so they could take their land. Need I remind you, this is Britain Land Company, and I'm a registered corporation, HUINT Limited.